Hey everyone, welcome to the channel, all things Middle Earth here, and today we're talking about one of my favorite commanders in the game. It is the Shadow. He is an absolute beast. We're filling out our evil lineup, so we have 2 of 4 spots filled with Lurtz and Agzok. I'll link their videos up in the top right. But Shadow is going to be joining them as a third and final physical damage dealer for the evil side. Now, like I've talked about a lot, so I'm sorry if this gets repetitive, the evil side has less viable commanders in the first couple of tiers. So if you're a brand new player, if you're a low spinning player, if you're going to go hard evil RP, it's going to be a little bit difficult. So my suggestion would honestly just be to play non-role play and mix in a few good commanders who can add some support. But if you're against that, I get some people like to run all good or all evil. I get it. But just kind of throwing that out there before we jump in, that evil is a bit of a grind. Now, as you'll see on the screen right here, I have this sheet for the Shadow put together. I do this for all these commanders. And again, this is linked down in the description below. So everything we talk about in the video today is going to be on that sheet that you can reference in the future. Share it with your teams and your Discord, whatever it is. Those are kind of for you guys to use. So check those out in the description or screenshot it, whatever you want. But those will always be down in the description. And really any resources we use in the videos will be in the description for you guys to use. And last but not least, behind me is the top up link. I've talked about this a lot lately, so I'm not going to go crazy on it. But at the end of the day, this is down in the description below. It's an affiliate link. If you make purchases on this link instead of doing them in game, I get a small kickback. It supports what I do, yada, yada, yada. You guys have heard it probably a million times, maybe not a million times, but again, it does support the channel and allows me to keep making content like this. So consider using this if you are spending. If you're not, like I always say, no sweat, it doesn't apply to you, but make sure you guys hit the like button and subscribing because that does help the channel grow. But now with that intro out of the way, let's go ahead and roll it and get into the Shadow build. All right, first up for Shadow skills, we have the Undertaker. We're going to go 5 out of 10 there to unlock this ability that allows him to attack 3 formations instead of 2. After that, we're going to max out his Shape of the Void, his R5, which allows him or gives him a very good chance to have 2 normal attacks per round. We're then going to go back and max out the rest of Undertaker, just upping the damage he does a little bit more. After you've maxed out both of those in that order, you're going to put 1 point into Black Numenorian. This is just going to put out a little bit extra damage, which is going to help clear White Council stacks. And again, we're not worried about the damage as much as just the number of attacks going out. So 1 point in Black Numenorian, and the rest of his points are going to go into Hunting Expert. Now I switched accounts so I could show you guys what it looks like. This is on a level 41. I'm a Mythic 10 here, so definitely have invested a bit here. But again, that order, we go 5 here, then 10, then max out Undertaker, 1 point in Black Numenorian, and then the rest of my levels are going to go into Hunting Expert, just like this. Now, next up, looking at his gear, we're going to use, again, we've been talking about a lot of them, so hopefully you guys are sick of, me talking about it, because that means hopefully it's kind of drilled in there, because the whole goal of these videos is to show you guys why we're using certain pieces of gear, not just to tell you what to use, because every account is very different and intricate, and so you need to be able to look through your gear and see what you have that can work with the sets you're looking for on different commanders, all that good stuff. So he is a physical damage commander, if you could not tell, just looking at all his stuff. It's really about this, dealing physical damage. We're hitting multiple targets. We're attacking multiple times. We get a little bit more attack stacking here. So really, he only has 1 physical damage skill, but he attacks so much with it that he's just a monster physical damage commander. So we want attack and we want damage. So like you can see in the sheet right here, we have some suggestions for the best in slot first and second gold items, as well as the best in slot purple items. Now, for those curious, this would be my recommendation for purple gear if you're just starting out. This is a Sharp Blade set with the best kind of commander attack and damage skill that there is available for purple gear. Accessories don't really have anything to do with commander attack for blue, so we want to push the purples as soon as possible. But if you're just starting out, this is a very good place to start. So I'd be strengthening this stuff up as much as possible. And again, the Sharp Blade set, which you'll see recommended on the sheet, is very good for him as a new player, because that plus 20 you get is way more valuable than a percent-based effect on kind of lesser gear. Now, if you're running, you've been playing for a long time and you're just building him, if you're using gold gear like the Axe of Khazad Doom, Berserker's Raiment, all that good stuff that you see in the sheet, we want to look for percent-based effects like Perseverance, Might, or Warcry, especially for the Shadow, because his abilities are really, really heavy in the first couple of rounds, really the first 6 rounds, but in the first 6 rounds, he attacks twice as much. So something like Warcry is really good because that's really boosting for his first 3 rounds, whereas Perseverance boosts the longer you go. So it's not quite as good for Perseverance. So I would really go for Might or Warcry as a percent-based effect if you're a bit more whaled out. Now, as far as the relics go, as you can see on the screen, I do have these relics for Shadow. I got them when 2.0 came out, and honestly, I'm not super happy with them. Without getting into it a whole lot, they're going to get a fail from me. Not because they're bad, and not because I don't want him to have these stats. So again, if you're a bigger whale and you want him to have these stats, it's great. But as far as the effect goes, it says at the start of each round, if allied trolls are present in the army, the next instance of damage received by the commander's formation is -6. This goes up to -24% for it, which is nice. but it's only ever going to be usually the first attack of the round. It's only the first attack of the round. So it's usually blocking out somebody's normal attack, which isn't a whole lot of damage anyway. And I just think there are better relics to look at, like Lurts we talked about yesterday. So if you're a brand new player, Shadow is not one I would go for off the bat. Again, I think Shadow's competitive enough that he can justify having them for their stats because he's a very, very good commander. But on the whole, they're going to get a fail from me. It is one I wish I could refund. I can't, so I'm stuck with them. I actually did reforge them. So I did have it strength all the way, but I reforged them just because I wanted to use it for other stuff. So I've got them. I'm stuck with them. I kind of wish I didn't have them, but it's not the best effect in the world to me. Now, as far as units go for Shadow, we're going to suggest the Berserkers. They are a well-rounded, cost-effective troop. So unless someone in your army requires a specific type of unit on everyone or on someone, I would just focus on running Berserkers. You can also run Crushers, which are over here. These are Crushers right here. They're a little bit more cost effective, still pretty bulky. They do get countered pretty hard by Bayorn. That's at like pretty well Bayorns, I should say. So if you're just starting out, you're not going to see really well commanders. Really shouldn't be, hopefully. And especially in your first couple of seasons, I don't think he's even unlocked till season 3. So if you're in your first couple of seasons, you can definitely go Crushers. But the general rule of thumb is that the Berserkers are the safer, but still kind of cost effective and bulky troop to use. So Crushers or Berserkers, but my vote's going to go for Berserkers. But that will do it for our video guide on the Shadow. Now, as you can see on the screen here, we do have one more commander to fill into the spot. We have 3 of the 4 spots filled up with our damage dealers. Now, again, there's not as much support in the tier 1 and 2 like I talked about. So the evil side's a bit more damage heavy, which can pay off, but I like a balance of support and damage personally. So this is what we're starting with. Now, it should go without saying, if you are non-roleplay and have access to good commanders too, all these damage commanders can be plugged into those good lineups that we were looking at, which I'll put the picture up on the screen. So on this screen, where anybody that says damage, you can plug Lurts, Shadow, or Agzok into any of those spots and create really effective lineups. And likewise, anybody who says support by them can also just be run with these 3 evil commanders we're looking at. So if you're non-roleplay, it's a lot easier. However, I know some people don't like that. So if you are strictly roleplay, we're going to keep looking through the evil commanders to see who we can plug in with these guys to make something work. But that'll be coming very, very soon. So make sure you subscribe so you don't miss out on that. Hit the like button. And as always, I'll see you guys in the next video.